Yay. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here to talk about a few things. Stephanie and I are going to, hang on. Stephanie and I are going to be leading together, talking to y'all about the 321 pilot program. And then Stephanie's going to talk to you guys about how she's kicking butt with referrals. I mean, her and Nicole Kelly are freaking on fire. And so I'm super excited. So, Nicole, I may have to call you out to share too what you've been doing in your consistent kick-ass land. So I love it. I love this group. I'm so happy you guys are all here, and I'm super excited to um, get to share with you. So myself and a few sister coaches are working with some clients, past and new, in some new health goals. And we're calling it the 321. You've probably heard this. There's a couple of different versions of this that are floating around. The one that we are focused on is super similar to what Optavia Nutrition Support already recommends when we find that a client has kind of stalled out or is stuck and needs a jump start getting the scale moving and some wind beneath their wings, right? So um, I'll share to you. Yes. So yeah, Wendy brought up that there's one Melissa Tarleton's group does. I think um, what we're focusing on here is something that's better for the client. It's easy. It's easy as our 5-in-1, and it's very, very much the same. And it's a little bit lower price point. So maybe you have somebody that's got their head, really, but I mean, let's be real. Like money is tight for a lot of people right now. Things are expensive, life is hard, and we want to make it a little bit more attainable for people that maybe are having a hard time and want to save a little bit of money. So this is a great way to do it, but it also is a great way for you to, connect with old clients and offer them something new and different. And but it's still going to keep them in a fat burn and help them nutritionally. So I'm going to share my screen and this show you what I've got. All right, make sure I have that pulled up. Okay. So share my notes with y'all. Um, so can you see everything? Steph, give me a thumbs up. Cool. All right. So, and I'll send this in the group chat. I've got this in my notes right now. So this is the 321 explained. So lower price point, still the same big results. And this is still going to count towards your CSB because it's going to be over a $275 qualifying volume. So what this looks like is this. It's going to be 3 servings of essential fuelings. We're going to be focusing on the powdered packets primarily. So no bars, cereal, or crunchers, but things like the soft pretzel, your biscuit, your mac and cheese, your oatmeal, all of those things are good. The reason behind this is just it's a little bit lower carb and more bioavailable to use these. In addition to that, we're going to add 2 servings of the Optavia active whey protein. Hey now. So 2 servings of Optavia active whey. So they've got 2 varieties. I'm suggesting they get a bag of each. And the reasoning behind that is increasing the protein, especially for women of a certain age that are, really focusing on getting more than 100 grams of protein, or your folks on GLP-1s, so on and so forth. So this is
And
going to, and
and
six,
Heather, I was just gonna
yes, ma'am.
add,
Yes.
remember the active protein too, per scoop, it's over 20 grams of protein.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying is that this is increasing the protein, so they're going to get, 24 grams of protein per serving twice a day, but it's still low carb, low calorie, low fat, you know? So it's going to do all of the things. So this is going to help people be able to get a little bit more protein. So it's going to help with satiety as well. So, in addition to that, you want one weighed and measured lean and green. And if they really want to dial it in, they can focus on leanest lean and lowest carb veggies for maximum efficacy. And then, of course, we want them doing utilizing the essential amino acids for muscle protein synthesis and recovery. So here are the requirements. We want a 28-day commitment, you know. Um, if 3 weeks is more, 3 weeks is better for some clients, you can suggest that. But I really feel like doing a full month is going to really get them the results they're looking for. They are going to be, you're going to be texting or checking in with them daily. So, and I'm really leaning on the client to send screenshots of their Renfo scale daily, along with a picture of their lean and green. So I want, so that daily check-in can just be that. You can tell them, I want you to send me your scale in the morning, your lean and green at night. And I really want them to get on a call, a Tuesday or a Friday call, either live or watch a recording, and then let you know that they've done that, and give you a big takeaway. So this is really, we want them to be engaged. We want more accountability and really to help move the needle forward so people aren't just poo-pooing things. So, and I want them to be open to sharing their results. And if not publicly, at the very least in Health is Wealth, because I really want to see, I want to see what happens with this. I mean, we all know that there's a lot of new and exciting things happening. We don't have all of the answers yet, but I'm really hoping that this is going to help us be ready for the next thing. So, um, what you need for an entire month. It's only 12 boxes of essential fuelings. Again, no bars, no crunchers, no cereal, just the little packety packets. So keeping mostly powdered things that they have to rehydrate. Um, 2 bags of active whey protein, 1 bag of essential amino acids. That's what they need. And how much is this going to cost? So I've got your cost breakdown here. This is going to show the pricing with and without aminos. Obviously, we want to encourage with aminos because we are looking for this to be counting towards our CSB. So I realized also when you are working with an existing client, if you could get them to add, an optional snack of popcorn or some infusers would probably be better. That would get them into the 15% discount bracket. So I'll put this in our threads so you guys can see that, and save it into your notes for future. Tell me who has questions about this. You can raise your hand or pop off mute and tell me what your questions are. Anyone?
Hey, I couldn't get to my hand quick enough. I had a hard time
Come
finding
on,
my name.
Peanut.
Hey, question is, I saw you guys posting about it and you said that, we were going to talk about it tonight. So,
Hmm.
of course, I shut it down. I was not going to do any posts without asking. And then with Brenna being away, she's like, hey, throw this in this group because, these ladies. So, saying that, now for us, kind of like, so can we go and kind of use you guys' postings to start talking about this?
Absolutely.
What do
Yeah,
Okay, I just,
absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely. Make it
okay.
yours. Take,
Right,
brand.
right. Change a little stuff up
Yeah, take the branding
okay,
that we used,
okay,
and feel free to make it your own.
okay.
Um, Okay, I've got a couple questions. So, one thing, Gretchen is asking to share how we're connecting with existing clients or new clients. That's a great question. I am going in to connect and going through all my clients and sending notes. I'm just doing a small batch at a time and sending notes with people that I know um, have wanted help. Also using my hundreds list that I have and my map, people that I've, have pointed out on my map. So I'm using that to connect with old and potential new clients, and also going through health assessments, maybe past health assessments for not yets. So um, that's a great way to connect with, just this is a great conversation starter. Like we're doing something new. There's lots of great stuff happening. So yes, to Jen, to your question on the active shake, you're doing 2 scoops. So that's 2 servings a day. So 1 scoop is 1 serving. So for me personally, I'm doing that first thing in the morning, with my protein coffee. I'm having I'm having the active whey protein in my coffee in the morning, in order to get my day hop a lopping with 24 grams of protein. So that's a great question. Tracy.
Hey, hold on.
Hey,
Um,
hey.
hey, I actually took your picture of your 321 and
Hmm.
put it in Chat GPT with my picture and asked him to change it.
Hmm.
And I changed the name. Is that okay if we do that?
Totally. Totally. That's what I had. Just make sure you're looking at the all of the particulars, because I know one of
Mm-hmm.
us was doing, I think Amber made one and it still had Stephanie's name on it. So just make sure you're double checking.
I took your name.
Okay. Yeah,
The
just make
first
sure
one I
you're
did had your name, and the second one I was like, oop, replace the
yeah,
name.
yeah,
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
I
Okay.
can put I can put an example of this flyer that Tracy and Heather are talking about. I can put it in the coach threads, as well as I'll share the post that I did last week when I put my flyer out there, so you guys can see like how we posted with it.
Yeah, and we'll do the same. We can have
Thank you.
Amber, myself, we'll do the same. So you guys can feel free to, use these things however you see fit.
Yep.
Um, Nicole.
I just wanted to say, kind of the reasoning behind the whey protein. And Heather, you touched on it, giving us more protein. But
Hmm.
and I love what you're saying about putting it in your coffee and having it first thing in the morning. But that
Hmm.
protein is also going to satiate people. It's going to help them to not feel as hungry. And so starting off in the morning with that higher protein is going to set them up for success for the whole day.
Yep.
Um, and then maybe at that 3 o'clock ish fueling time, doing that protein powder again. Because
Yeah,
that's when a
especially if,
lot of people start really feeling hungry around that 3 o'clock time. So that's kind of what I'm telling clients first thing in the morning, and then that midday fueling.
yeah. And then, spreading your essential fuelings throughout
Mhm.
the day, And then I'm even encouraging them to split up their lean and green. For instance, like we all know the volume of egg whites, and that's a great way for them to spread out their lean and green throughout the day, is by doing an egg bake with all of the things, and it's a massive amount of food. So thank you for reiterating that. All right, let's see. How do you how do you make what, Wendy? I'm sorry, I'm not sure about the question.
They answered it. The flyer that you guys did.
Oh,
I
word.
didn't even
Yeah,
throw it in Chat GPT yet and say, hey, take this out, put mine in. I was like, let me wait and
exactly.
see from tonight's call what's going to come out instead of me trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
No, totally. Yep. Don't reinvent the wheel. We'll
No,
share our resources with you guys and keep it super
right.
simple. But thanks for asking that. Does anyone else have any questions?
So on the whey shake, so are you using 1 scoop per each shake, or are you using 2 scoops?
One,
Cause Gretchen said two, and then
that's
you
two
mentioned
total. It's
Who's
two
two.
total.
Yeah, she would just meant 2 total for the day.
Okay.
So it's,
Okay.
so that's going to be 3 servings of essential fuelings, 2 servings of the whey protein. So that's your 5, so this
Okay.
this is based
Because
on
the bag on the whey protein said to use 2 scoops, and I'm like, that's a
that's the
lot.
that's the Ascend.
Okay. Okay.
The Ascend does that. We're not going to use the Ascend. We want to use the active whey. It's better for a 5-in-1 fat burn program, the Ascend is not going to be what we need for that. But thank you for asking that question. I'm sure other people had that same question. But if you look at with just the one scoop twice a day. All right, how are we feeling otherwise? Are you ready to share, Steph? Okay, cool.
I sure am.
I'm gonna mute.
All right, awesome. So a lot of you should be aware, if you're not already, that we have double referrals going from now through end of month. And what that means is if your client refers someone and they actually place an order, at the time that that order ships, your client is not only going to get $50, but they're going to get $100. And so this is huge. This was also happening last month. And this is how I got my clients really excited about posting. Because, after they've been on program 2-3 months, that 20% discount goes away. Any wellness credits that we might have provided, that goes away. And so anytime that they're having success and they want to continue on program, this is really, really, really good for retention, to get them to share their story. Because if others see it, obviously they're going to sign up and want to work with us, and our clients benefit. So last month, I brought on 7 new clients, and as the first batch, they kind of came in 2 different waves. I had about 4 that started about the same time, and then I had 3 that started later in the month. But for the first 4, you all are aware of the challenge that we do in Health is Wealth every month, and typically, those brand new clients, the first time that they post, we submit their names, and they typically get $50 in credits on their account. And that's if they share publicly, they open it up to everyone that they're friends with, and they follow all the rules of our challenge. So what I did last month was, I said to my clients, look, we have double referrals happening, and we have this challenge that you should be doing. So think about how much money that was going to add up in terms of credits for these clients. Not only could they get $100 as a double referral, but they were also looking at $50 in wellness credits if it was their first time posting. Now, this does not apply. The $50 does not apply to clients that continue to post, but this is specifically for brand new clients. If they are willing to post that very first time, they'll get $50. So anyway, the way that I really leveraged this last month, and the way that I was able to get that second batch of 3 more clients on, was I said to 2 of my new clients, one of them was existing, but 2 of my brand new clients, I said, look, we are, you don't have to do a before and after, but I really want you to do this much challenge. You are having amazing success. And just think about how you came along. You joined the program because your friend shared and inspired you to get on program. So maybe you should think about doing that too. And if you do it, not only are you going to get $50 in automatic credits because it's your very first time posting, but you're also potentially opening yourself up to this double referral. So 3 of my clients posted. One of these clients, as I mentioned, was an existing client, and she has now posted 2, if not 3 times. So when she posted, I had several people interested. And then when 2 of those new clients posted, they had people interested. And so, yeah, I think I led in referrals last month because I had 3 referring clients, and one brought on multiple, and 2 of the others brought on 1 client each. So I know we talk about the importance of asking our clients to share, but just keep asking them. They may not be willing to do it the first time, But just keep asking them, especially if they're getting really good results and they're happy with their progress. They're going to be really engaged, really invested in the program. And when they hear that there's like a monetary incentive, like, a cost savings to them, that really helps motivate them. But then also, as we know, when they post, they're putting it's accountability for them because they're sharing with their world. Look, I'm doing this program, and they're opening themselves, up to this. And so chances are in the weeks after they post, they're not going to suddenly just fall off and quit program. So it's a really, really, really effective tool that I think Optivia has given us. For client acquisition for new clients, for client retention of our existing clients, and it's a win-win. It's a win for us as coaches. It's a win for our clients. So I would just stop there. But any questions?
Will you tell us some of the things that you're doing in reaching out to clients?
So in reaching out to clients,
Reaching out for new clients, like what are tell us about some of the conversations that you're having.
I would definitely say leverage Brenna's guide that she recently put together and shared with us in the threads. And I'm doing a lot of that. I'm reaching out to people via my stories. I pay a lot of attention to who watches each of my story slides, like who sticks with me, right, until the very end. And pretty much on a daily basis, I try to methodically go through and look at that list of names and see, are any of those names new? Is there anyone that I like haven't talked to recently? And if it's a name I don't recognize, I go into that person's profile. I look at our message history. I see what's going on in that person's life, and I try to find something to talk to them about. Sometimes, if I can't find anything per se, like maybe they haven't posted, I'll just message them. Right now, it's really easy because of summertime and just people involved in so many things like, trips and camps and, sitting by the pool. And so I'll just say, hey, how are you? What are your plans for the summer? Um, just to try to spark conversation. So that's stories. I'm also going through all of my posts on a regular basis. Same thing. I'm looking at who has liked or loved it, who has commented on it, and all of those people. Again, you know, if I'm in regular conversation with people, I don't, it's not weird, right? I don't make it weird. But especially for people that are showing up in these likes and loves that I haven't seen before, I'll reach out to them and I'll thank them for their support. And I'll say something like, hey, I'm so glad that my content is being seen. I hope you're finding it helpful. If they're commenting or liking and loving recipes, I may ask them if they're interested in more recipes. Are they someone that looks for are they interested in like healthy meals, healthy dinners, meal prep? Let's see, there's also stories are really big. My news feed is really big. um Birthdays, obviously, I do birthdays pretty consistently on a daily basis. Try to get conversations going that way. Um,
What
those are,
about, like, are you doing connection commenting still? Are you still doing like basic BBAs with
I
this?
am.
And
I,
how much time are you spending doing power hours and things like that?
yes, great question. Thank you, Heather. So yes, my goal is always to be on a power hour at least every day, Monday through Friday. The weekends, not so much, but I try to on the weekends still get 3 posts up during the day, still doing my conversations, still, watching who's looking at my feed, my birthdays. I'm still doing all of the same work in terms of BBAs on the weekend, but I may not be on a power hour just depending on what's going on. But absolutely, Monday through Friday, I'm always on a power hour. And I will say, if you guys have not tried the 7:30 a.m. with Jen Farino. I really, really like it. I think it's extremely efficient. I like the way that she runs it. I personally, I know everyone's different. I don't need to dance. I don't need, a lot of background conversation and inspiration and motivation. Like when I get on, I'm ready to work and I'm ready to like use that hour to be really productive. So I am enjoying how she gives us specific time to do like time windows to knock out several tasks. I have found it very, very productive. So I encourage you, if you haven't been on that, to get on it. Um, but yeah, Heather, power hours for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm with you on that 7:30 power hour because it's good. It's early enough for most people that they can at least get on for 30 minutes or so before they have to start their day. And she really does keep you on task and knocking things out quickly.
Yeah,
It's different than the structure that we're maybe used to, but yeah,
yeah.
7:30 a.m. Eastern is it's a great time to join that power hour.
And what I find because of that time, what I find
You,
is
Marnie.
yeah, true, true. It's tough for you on the West Coast for sure. But I would say even
The
final
9 a.m. is
recording.
good for you.
Yeah. I would say I really like it, for us at least on Midwest, East Coast, that we can do it because you get all that basic work knocked out and then you have the rest of the day available to keep watch on your messenger, to have time for conversations, and the other calls that we do, right? The health assessments, the celebration calls, etc. I just feel like it keeps us from a time management standpoint really efficient.
Yeah. So I know we have to jump off here in a minute to get on Melissa's call, but I want to ask you another question in regard to the metabolic scan. Are you finding that to be a helpful tool for you in your getting new leads and making a more succinct health assessment call?
Great question. Yes, it is another great tool that Optivia has given us. I am getting leads and I am following up with them. I even like that they tell us, their preference for communication, whether it be text or email. And I also want to share the tip that Jen shared with a lot of us last week, which was don't just rely on getting an email. Actually, go to the dashboard and check it daily, because you may actually find people that have completed it just by looking at the dashboard. Like for whatever reason, you may not have that email. So,
Yeah, I think they don't want us having the email function turned on because the person who, yes, exactly, Wendy, they suggested we have the emails turned off. So I'm going to encourage you guys that are using the metabolic scan to check it a couple of times a day so you can make sure you're staying on top of that. Um, and we shared in our threads the information we talked about with 321, and we can drop, the conversations again if that's helpful for you guys. Does anybody have any questions before we hop off? All right, friends. Well, thank you guys for your time. We'll see you on the next call.
all right. Thanks, everybody. Bye
Peace
bye.
out. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye bye.